This is a 13 Weather Impact Alert.
Hi, good morning, everybody. 10 o'clock on your Wednesday morning. We're halfway through the week and starting off another 13-plus weather special for you. I'm joined by Chief Meteorologist Samantha, Jacques, and Meteorologist Amber Twardy this morning because we still yet again are kind of in the icebox.
Oh, right? I mean, I enjoy doing these weather specials.
Yeah.
I enjoy getting to spend more time with all of you at home and you two beautiful humans as well. I am sick and tired of winter forecasting. But it's okay.
Much now.
Yeah, it is. It's getting to the point where I feel guilty. Like, I love forecasting snow, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I feel guilty. You know, I'm like, oh, I have to tell them again.
And just for you guys at home, I've talked to Sam about this, multiple times. You've said that in the past, forecasting snow is one of your favorite things to do.
Absolutely.
You get so excited of it. In fact, this is well documented on social media. But
he's like, you asked for it, Sam.
Well, yeah. But also, this is how you know it's bad, is when Chief Meteorologist Samantha Jacques is like waving the white flag.
Right, like,
Exactly.
okay, give them a break, especially our lakeshore counties that just can't seem to quite get one. This is a live look right now at Muskegon. 5 degrees currently.
Ugh.
Snowfall's picked up. Visibility now sitting at 3/4 mile. And that wind chill value, -15 still.
Well, can I point out something is, people here in Grand Rapids, they're not seeing what's going on in Muskegon.
Right.
So, people in Grand Rapids area, they're like, oh, you know what, that snow,
Yes.
it's gone away. It really hasn't for much of the lakeshore.
And this is a live look over Grand Rapids right now. Still like a little hazy, gloomy look to
Yeah.
it, but yeah, not the active snowfall that we're seeing in Muskegon. Other portions of West Michigan are looking similar to that. Holland, some of our lakeshore counties will continue to see more snowfall building in. And then in addition to that, we've got temperatures that are still really cold. Everybody got a taste of that this morning, those cold, cold, cold conditions. As we head throughout the day today, we do start to see those temperatures climbing back up a little bit, but they only make it into the mid-20s by the overnight hours tonight and into early tomorrow morning. Here, this is the graphic I was looking for. I wanted to talk about last night's temperatures and into this morning. Amber, can you read that? Because I don't think I can. I don't think I can say it out loud.
Oh boy, Kalamazoo Airport, -28 degrees for wind chills at least. So it felt like -28 overnight, felt like -27 at the Ford Airport. Now things are cold all across West Michigan still. Overnight hours though, I know getting out this morning, trying to come into work, it hurt to breathe.
It did, it really did. It was that kind of air that you're like, it catches your
Yeah.
breath just a little bit. Now we're seeing improvements. Current temperature sitting at 2 degrees right now. I will take the above sub-zero temperatures. I will take it. As we head throughout the day today, we have a forecast high of about 18 degrees, I think. So, but that is not where it stops. We are still underneath 13 weather impact alerts today and tomorrow. And the big part of those 13 weather impact alerts are the heavy snow and the high winds that are expected today, mainly along our lakeshore counties, and it is not going to be fun. Very close to blizzard-like conditions expected. Our current satellite and radar showing us kind of what's on deck here.
Yeah, already having that bitter cold settling in, we kind of look at this afternoon and go, oh, yes, a little bit of relief.
Yes.
But still, there's more to it. It's not just the cold, it's also the snow, some of which we've been able to see already this morning, and some of which still falling now, of course.
Right, we've got a little area of snowfall right over Muskegon. We saw that on our camera, right? But it's this. This is the big guy over here that's moving through. This is our system snow. So this is coming along with a low pressure system that's gliding into our area. But what we need to pay attention to is that as this low glides in, the winds are going to drive in along with it out of the south and west. And as it does so, we are actually going to see lake effect embedded within the system snow, making it a forecaster's, I don't know, maybe dream come true, maybe worst nightmare. I'm not sure. Whatever your preferences are with forecasting, but it doesn't make it easy by any means to get those snowfall totals perfect. Right now, winds are sustained at 15 to 18 miles per hour across West Michigan. We will continue to see winds gusting up to about 35 miles per hour throughout the morning to mid-afternoon hours, and that southwesterly wind will be just enough to enhance some of the lake effect snow that we're expecting.
Yeah, Sam, we were out there in the weather chaser this morning, and I got to tell you, visibility because of those gusty winds was just reduced throughout so much of the morning. That was going to be a big issue for many areas, not just the slick spots, but also not able to see too much going on.
And it wasn't
either.
even actively snowing, right? So you're talking
Only
about
in some
visibility.
spots.
It was like blowing snow. This is a live look at our weather chaser right now. Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
So road conditions have, well, there's a lane. There's
a lane. You can see
It's all about finding
you can
the
see
lane.
road.
It's all about finding lane. Do we know where Mr. Doug Grievous is at right now? Or where he's headed to? Track him, Tanner.
Oh, yeah.
Get him on the
He
tracker.
always shares his location. So you guys keep talking. I'll tell you in a second.
So we've got the one lane. We have more snow coming, and this is a look at our snowfall totals that we're expecting. So this is from this morning.
He's on
continuing
96, nearly to Fruitport.
Nearly to
Nearly
he's
Fruitport.
headed to the fun
Getting into the
spot.
snow.
Yeah, he's getting into the nitty gritty of it, because that is where we do expect 6 to maybe 9+ inches of snow from northern Ottawa County extending up through Ludington. Kent County and Ottawa County, you're not left out of this. We are going to get clipped by around 3 to 6 inches of snowfall, especially that system snow. That will dust through certainly. How much of that southwesterly wind will catch? That's a bit questionable. And then the further south and east that you travel, the lower those totals become. Now, of course, this doesn't all come at once, Amber, so slow it down for everybody. Tell them what they're going to see hour by hour.
Yeah, let's look at this. This is heading throughout the rest of today. Now, this is going to be going from now until about 5 p.m., seeing some areas that could be getting upwards of 3 inches of snowfall in the belt, where we're already seeing some of that snow coming down right now. So from Muskegon extending further to the northeast through Fremont as well. We'll continue to see more snow as we're heading into the overnight hours as well. This is going into tomorrow morning. So by tomorrow, 7 a.m., well, it looks like some areas could be picking up closer to that 5 to 7 inch mark, and possibly even a little bit more than that some areas. Now, Sam's highlighting this darker blue color with that yellow arrow that you see on your screen there. That's where we're going to be anticipating most of that snowfall.
Oh, that's the sweet spot right there. Now, this is with our winds driving out of, winds matter so much. Okay, we've got the system snow, sure, but the enhancement of the lake effect is going to come from the wind's direction. So all throughout the day today and into early tomorrow morning, southwesterly winds driving that extra band of lake effect snow into northern Ottawa, Muskegon, up towards the Fremont area, Oceana County as well. But what happens during the early morning hours tomorrow, that low pressure system continues to move off to the east. We see our winds start to pivot behind it, shoot down from the north and west tomorrow. So don't you worry, Southern Ottawa County and Allegan County. I know you like to be the superstars of every lake effect snow event, and you're going to get your fair share, because you likely are going to see an additional 3 to maybe 5 inches of lake effect snow on the backside of the system throughout your Thursday as those winds change in direction. And then finally, we get a break.
Just a little bit of a break during the end of the week at least, but yeah, we do have quite a bit to deal with in between then and now. Still looking at plenty of snowfall. Yeah, temperatures are getting a little bit of an improvement. Teens is upsetting to call an improvement here.
We got a heat wave on deck with temperatures
heat
making their
wave.
way into the teens. Tanner, I know we had an interview on deck for us this morning. Are they ready? Are we ready?
Yeah, I think we're ready for it. So we have Steve Roan with the Kent County Road Commission on Zoom with us this morning. Steve, good morning to you. How you doing? Good morning, Steve. Can you hear us? Oh, Steve. Steve, are you there? Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
All right, sounds great. All right, so, we are talking about the lake effect snow that we've had over the last couple of days. That seems to be pulling back from the Grand Rapids area. Probably good news for you guys, because that means you can get out there and really start dealing with some snow. So what I guess is my question to you is what are you guys out there doing right now as we kind of have a little bit of a reprieve for this snow?
Well, yeah, good question, Tanner. I mean, right now we're still doing more of the same, because more so than the snow, what we're really dealing with is the extremely cold temperatures. This morning, we had some of the coldest temperatures of this event. I saw some -5s and -6s as I was taking my drive around the county this morning. So those cold temperatures still do limit what we're able to do, but we're out there still mechanically removing all this snow, preparing the road surface as best we can for as we get some of these warmer temperatures we expect later today, for sure, Thursday, Friday. To then we'll start really try to peel this hard pack off and get these roads back to a better condition.
Yeah, it was piled up on some of the expressway, the on-ramps and off-ramps. I could see just where the plows had come through and mechanically moved some of that snow off. And so that really seems to be the name of the game, because as you pointed out, a lot of the salt and a lot of the pre-treatment and treatment you guys would do now after a weather event like this is just not working because it's so cold. So can you explain the science behind that? Why does it happen to be like that, salt-wise and treatment-wise?
Well, salt just has an effective temperature that it can really work. We need this salt to get into a liquid solution, brine solution, and what it's really effectively able to do at that solution is lower the freezing point. It can only work so well, and when we see these -5s and 6s with wind chills that even can affect that greater, the effective use of salt or any of our liquids is just reduced. That anything we do tends to make maybe problems worse. So best practice has really been, let's put some abrasives on this road during these really cold conditions and provide some grit, some traction for these motorists. And then we just continue to monitor the temperatures. And when they get to a point where we can make things better, we will.
Yeah, you guys have been working around the clock over the last several days. I mean, this event started back up on Sunday evening and made its way into Kent County, Kent County being the most populous in West Michigan, of course. We have a saying around here at the station that the Kent County road crews really have it together, really all the road crews here in West Michigan. They're so good at what they do. Can you talk about the manpower over the last couple of days? What does that look like? You guys have had people around the clock, I'm assuming, over the last 72 hours, I'd bet.
Yeah, we really have. And it goes to credit the men and women we have at the Kent County Road Commission. And I share a lot of text groups with kind of our adjacent peers with the cities and in the counties. And I know they'd say the same thing. They've got great men and women that are out doing this work. But it does get to be long days. And for Kent County, we have a night crew. And we've just been scheduling them to come in one right after the other. Our day crew is really working. We kind of flex them a little bit between 4 and 6 a.m. based on their runs. They work 12 to 14-hour shifts, and then our night crew comes in and basically takes that same truck and goes right back out into similar runs. And we're just trying to go out there and keep these roads in the best, safest condition we can throughout the events. And you know what? They know this is their job, and it can be tiresome, burdensome, but this is what they really love to do. This is their identity.
Yeah, absolutely. So, with our warm-up, we're calling it a heat wave, but we're really getting into the 30s. I'm sure that will open you guys up to some more opportunities to use some of your treatments, like the salt and any other liquid treatments that you may have for the roads. Can you talk about that when we do hit the 30s closer to this weekend? How does that open you guys up to be able to run some of that snow and ice off the roads?
Yeah, and we're really going to watch that kind of really hour by hour starting this afternoon because we really need to address what's going on the road. So we look very much at the pavement or the ground temperature more than that ambient. And as when we get to where this gets into the low 20s, we're going to start fighting that fight. We're going to use some chemicals. We're going to use what we all are used to with our rock salt, and we're going to add some liquid. Basically, it's calcium chloride. We're going to add to that on the rock salt to have it work a little bit better, more effective. But we all have our tanker loaded up, and we're ready to go use pure liquids, which will help it be a little bit more direct and quicker to act. So when we get those temperatures where we're going, we've got a plan in place where we're going to go try to turn these around. And we're coordinating that with Ottawa and Muskegon County so that we're trying to make all these surfaces similar when we can work together.
Yeah, we are looking live at our weather chaser right now, just some of the roads that road crews have been working on, this one being I-96. I know you can't see it, Steve, but I'm curious, though, because we just had that law in place where folks are supposed to stay 200 feet back from any sort of plow or salt equipment on the roads. I'm curious, have you guys had any issues with that in Kent County? And if so, what is your warning to drivers that will be dealing with some of the road crews on the roads this week?
We really haven't had an issue per se with a motorist this season yet, maybe coming in contact with one of our plows, but we have unfortunately had some accidents on the system we're responsible for that have been some pileups and some of those that may be caused from encountering whiteout conditions. And when you can't see and then the roads you're driving on are less than ideal, it definitely comes to a point where maybe you're going to run into a vehicle in front of you and it becomes that kind of accordion effect. But definitely the law that talks about 200 feet back is a benefit for all because giving more distance between you and whatever vehicle you're following is definitely beneficial. It gives you more time to react to them and them to you.
Yeah, I know that you're not a law enforcement agent of any type, but I want to ask you, have you been seeing people keep a pretty safe speed on the roads out there? I mean, I'm talking more so our area freeways, because that seems to be what clogs us up most of the time. Have you seen people really trying to slow down, or do you see people still, taking it at a risky speed?
Well, I do think more and more as this event has gone on, we're really getting into the third day of these extreme colds where we've had the snow on this freeway system that kind of packed on. We have noticed behaviors changing, but we also know from history that maybe 3 days folks start to get frustrated with it and they may start to pick up the pace. And we just encourage them again to work with us. We're out there doing everything we can, and maybe the snow stops and maybe they'll see on their vehicle some warmer temperatures, but it will take us some time to get these roads back. So we're going to continue to encourage to kind of drive for conditions, slow down, give yourself some extra time.
This next question coming from our chief meteorologist, Samantha, Jacques, who's with me right now, but she wants to know, what do events like this, we've got the snow, we've got the ice on a long period of time on our roads. What does this do to our roads in the long term? Are we going to see more potholes when we see the springtime roll around? Or what sort of damage does that do to roads?
Well, the damage is kind of unknown, but it really can do some things to our roads we haven't seen in quite a few years. Samantha can probably speak to that on some history with these cold temperatures. But what it does is it drives frost into these roads. The colder it gets, the deeper that frost is going. And unfortunately, when that frost comes out here in the spring, it's when we impose the seasonal speed and weight restrictions. But as that frost comes out, our roads are very susceptible because we've got some trapped, softer ground between that road surface and the frost below. So yes, these cold temps that drive that frost in could really cause havoc here in the spring.
All right, Steve Roan with the Kent County Road Commission. We always appreciate your insight and your time. Of course, I know that you're getting ready to hop off here to go to another meeting, so we really do appreciate you making some time for us this morning.
Very welcome. Thank you.
All right, Steve, thanks. We have Chief Meteorologist Samantha Jacques joining.
Yeah.
I like what he said there.
Me too.
A little bit of an explainer of how we get those potholes,
Yeah,
right? Last year, I think we had a little bit of a milder winter where we didn't really see a lot of the snow, ice, and cold temperatures. This winter, it's going to be a little bit of a flipped script here.
Yeah, absolutely. I really just wanted to know, because I want to know how much construction I'll have to deal with when I drive home. That was the underlying portion of my question. And I think a lot of people wonder that as we head into spring and summer. But here's the thing, Tanner. Live looks across West Michigan right now are painting kind of different pictures depending on your location. Look at the Mackinac Bridge right now. Visibility certainly reduced. I'm scared of that on a 75-degree sunny day, that bridge. So today wouldn't be the day that you get me crossing it. Grand Haven looking okay. It's funny to see how much sand we see in that shot because of how strong the winds have been and how light the snow is. Yeah, because Grand Haven certainly has had its fair share of snowfall. MDOT cameras across the region. This is I-196 cameras. Sometimes these work, sometimes they don't. So we're going to see how it goes. We do have, looks like, not a lot of traffic on the roads.
Traffic for the most part on 196.
Which is fantastic news. In comparison to the last 2 days, things have certainly improved. Our I-96 MDOT cameras, Grand Rapids northbound, looking pretty good as well. So if you're headed out on the roads today, I would say the further inland that you travel, the better those road conditions are going to be. But regardless, because our temperatures are, oh, look at, they're just going dropping like flies.
Is that because of the cold weather, perhaps, maybe?
Sometimes these streams can just be a little bit finicky. We're routing them from the MDOT cameras themselves, so sometimes they're available, sometimes they're not.
Okay.
But the further inland that you travel, the better the road conditions will be. But regardless, even if you're seeing the 2 lanes, the biggest thing that we want you to know is that there's still ice on all of these roads. As you mentioned, that treatment not working.
Right now, the weather chaser is on I-96. If we could pop the weather chaser whenever you get a second. There it is.
Ooh, there we go.
Headed towards Muskegon, but just now passing through Fruitport. And so you see that one lane like you were talking about, right? And it's driving through. And then this is actually giving us a pretty clear view of some of the snow blowing there. And I want to make sure I have that location right, because it looks like he's not on a freeway. It looks like he just passed through an area with a stoplight.
Colton, help. Do you know where he is? Colton is here in the background. They're
going toward North Muskegon, and they're on like
on Seaway Drive.
Yes.
Okay, look at, he knew right away. They're headed towards North Muskegon on Seaway Drive. Colton came in on his day off today, guys,
he's
to
dedicated.
help with weather. He truly is.
My point, though, being is sometimes you can pick it up in the camera, but you can always see that little shine on the road, and it looks wet. It's not water.
wet.
It is actually frozen water, which, of course, we all call ice. But it's under that layer of snow, which can be very dangerous. And this is why we urge everybody, when we have events like this, to use as much caution as possible. You don't know, like, if you're going to break and skid 20 feet.
Right,
you know?
absolutely. The other thing is that I'm noticing about this, Tanner, is the difference in the texture of the snowflakes coming down. The last several days, we haven't even really been able to see snowflakes on our camera because they've been so fine and so dusty. But this first batch of system snow is going to be heavier, wetter snow. It's not going to be that 20-to-1 snowfall ratio to start that we've been experiencing, which means there's a bit more water content. That's going to give you a bigger snowflake overall. But there will be the lake enhancement embedded in it, and by this afternoon and evening it will certainly become a finer snowfall once again.
For tomorrow, just out of curiosity, you know, for West Michigan schools, we had all of them cancel today, but for tomorrow, I'm curious, will we see more cancellations up toward Muskegon, or do we think we'll still be having cold days here in Kent County?
I don't imagine that we will have cold days, but I do think that we are certainly going to see more snow days. Northern Ottawa, Muskegon, portions of Newaygo County, Oceana County, even some portions of northern Kent County might end up teetering close, especially the areas that have been hit over the last several days. West of US 131 might be a little bit close, but meteorologist Amber Twardy is on standby right now. She's got more on the temperature profile, right? Is that what you're talking about? Or Amber's got it all going on.
She's got everything going on.
We're going to find out what she's going to talk about. You tell us what you want to tell our viewers.
Well, first thing I do want to show is switching over to computer 2. We're going to be looking at some of the snowfall that we're getting right now in Muskegon County. Now, that's exactly where our weather chaser is going through at this time. Also, look at the winds. That's what I really want to point out here. Here's freezing time where we're seeing the snowfall right now. Pretty much entirely Muskegon County, and everywhere else is almost home free. A little bit of snow that's still trailing a little bit further north into Oceana County, portions of Newaygo County. Zoom in here though and look at those winds. They are converging into this one spot, going right through Muskegon County, bringing quite a bit of that snowfall and also some of those larger snowflakes too. Now, with winds like this that are largely coming out of the south and southwest, that's going to be bringing snow to some of these areas that instead have Lake Michigan further off to their southwest. So where we usually see those snow belts setting up with northwesterly winds, it's going to look a little bit different this time around. Now, we've had a lot of northwesterly winds recently, so where we've been able to see that snow, well, it's going to be a little bit different as we're heading throughout this morning. Even northern Kent County could end up seeing at least a little bit more snowfall on the way. But hey, let's talk about temperatures here as you're getting out the door. It's still cold out there. We're waiting for this to load, but temperatures still going to be very chilly for many areas, down in the single digits, close to zero, just barely above zero for many areas at this point, 2 degrees in Grand Rapids. Let's get a little bit of a closer look at how our temperatures are looking all across West Michigan. Now, a little bit further south and west that you go, Stevensville looking at 7 degrees, but that's not necessarily the case the further north that you go. Holland Lighthouse reporting only 6 degrees right now. Everywhere is in the single digits. Further north, close to zero. So 0 in Fremont right now. Now, many areas are going to be very cold out the door, but not just because the temperatures are cold, but also take a look at these feels like temperatures still down in the negative teens, well into the negative teens as well. We've not been feeling warm by any means for the past multiple days. At this time, feels like temperatures still only going to be sitting close to about negative 17 here in Grand Rapids, negative 18 for Ionia, feeling 14 degrees below zero in Muskegon right now, on top of that snowfall that they're also seeing from lake effect that's trailing to the north and east. We'll be able to see more opportunities for lake effect as we're heading throughout the rest of the day too, on top of some system snow moving in heading into tonight and then into tomorrow morning as well. The cold temperatures though, we're stuck with those at least for a little bit. We do still have a cold weather advisory out for all of West Michigan. That's going to be staying in place until noon today, when we start to see a slight improvement on the way, reaching back up into the teens. Now, that's not warm by any means still, but it is going to be feeling quite a bit different than what we've been feeling over the past 2 days, where we haven't even made it above 10 degrees. Keeping in mind that this is the coldest air that we've seen since 2019. Now, it also feels that way too. Our feels like temperature is still staying below zero as we're heading into the early afternoon, still staying in the single digits throughout much of this afternoon as well. Only once we get into tonight is when we really start to see some more improvement. 8 p.m. is when it looks like we could have wind chills close to about 18 degrees. Anticipating more cloud cover still on the way, and of course some more snow too, so that's what we're going to be expecting. A lot of this has to do with this colder air mass that's been overhead. Part of those magic words, the polar vortex, that's what's been bringing us all of that cold Arctic air over the past couple of days. It will start to move out as we're getting into tonight. Now we're stuck with the cold air for now, but take a look as it goes a little bit further off to the east and northeast. Still a couple swings where we could get some much colder temperatures still, but we do have a slight warm up on the way, much milder conditions by the time that we're getting into this weekend. Those are those 30s on the way, so it is going to feel like a little bit of a heat wave here instead. Things definitely feeling a little bit more comfortable as we're getting into the end of this weekend, but we do still have some snow on the way, of course, as well. So it is going to be a little bit more active as we're heading into these next couple of days. And I know, Sam, you guys have been watching all of that snowfall over the past couple of days as well.
And I want that word mild. I want it to I want it to come here. I want it to park right over Michigan.
Please, we need some relief. We really do.
Yeah.
But you know, you were just chatting about conditions in Muskegon County right now. We just saw it on the Weather Chaser. I believe we have the My Drive map from MDOT pulled up right now. So this is the road map in Muskegon. See all that red there? That is what we consider to be stop and or very slow traffic, according to the My Drive Maps key. What we are hearing about, and this is straight from Muskegon Central Dispatch, they just posted this on Facebook. We currently have several accidents on US 31 near the River Flats south of M120. Southbound lanes are closed at this time. So again, southbound lanes at M120, several accidents on Highway 31. So that's where the accident is. They're asking you to avoid the area right now. Again, that is straight from Muskegon Central Dispatch. They had just posted this on Facebook, and we are seeing exactly the direct result of those accidents with the red conditions on the driving map there. If we could take the Weather Chaser again, I think that would paint the picture of why we're seeing that.
And this is why we're doing this extended coverage as well, because Muskegon County, you are underneath a winter storm warning right now. This is the highest warning or advisory or alert, I should say, that we've received this week so far. And there's a chance we're getting close to blizzard-like criteria outside. Those roads completely snow-coated. The car in front of Doug right now needs to brush their car off because we don't want that. We've got winds that are whipping 35 miles per hour that is eventually going to blow off and blow into somebody else's car.
And what was the warning that Lieutenant Michelle Robinson gave us from Michigan State Police yesterday? She said, don't try to drive with that little squeegeed off section of your window there.
Yes, and there's a 16-year-old Samantha that did that. She did, and it's okay. You know, we've all done it before.
I think
my
we
dad
can
said,
raise our hands,
you
show
want
of
your
hands.
keys?
Are we guilty of that?
Right, exactly. My dad was like, you want your keys? Go clean off your car. And then you learn, you know?
It's a
it
good
only takes
lesson.
one bad day. But yes, you want the safety of everyone around you as well. Even if you're confident, you only need this much room to see through.
You know, you make a good point there, the highest level of warnings and alerts that we've had. We did get a viewer question, and by the way, you are able to submit your questions to us by texting us 616-559-1310. Sam actually in her weather post earlier today, it's a text blast that she sends out every day, right?
Whenever we always just try to, when we think it's important. I don't want to bombard people with texts, but when it feels like, today's going to warrant a little extra heads up.
So if Sam's hitting your phone up, you better believe that this is something that she wants you to know about.
Right.
But in that text blast for today, she was talking about, hey, you can send us a text, and some people did. So you were mentioning the warnings. Someone asked specifically, will conditions be severe enough for a blizzard warning to be issued?
That's a good question.
I think the moral of the story is that we have so many alerts that some people may not know the difference. So,
and it starts to get confusing.
Yeah.
So blizzard warning, that is kind of like our highest level of criteria in terms of when conditions really, really get bad.
Okay.
So a blizzard warning is a combination of things. It's not just snowfall coming down. It's snowfall coming down that reduces visibility to a quarter mile or less with 35-mile-per-hour wind gusts that are sustained for at least 3 hours.
Okay, so how close are we to that criteria right now?
We may we may meet the criteria at times. Do I think that we're going to hold on to it through a duration of 3 hours? That's, I think, where we get a little bit messy. I think the wind gusts are going to kind of come and go. I think the visibility will kind of come and go as well. But that's not to say that we couldn't. That's not to say it doesn't get bad enough today that the National Weather Service says, hey, we're going to pull the trigger. They did give the heads up in our chat this morning. We, all of us meteorologists are a part of like kind of a group chat in Slack where we talk to each other about forecasting, National Weather Service forecasters, first responders, us. And that was something they said, like we're close to blizzard criteria, not quite there, underneath the winter storm warning. And then the past several days we've been underneath winter weather advisory. Typically in Grand Rapids, winter weather advisories is about 3 to 6 inches of snowfall coming down in 24 hours. Winter storm warning is when you start to get to 8 inches of snowfall.
Okay, so that's interesting criteria. You know, because when we have severe weather in the spring, summer, we know thunderstorm warnings, we know thunderstorm watches, what the difference of that is. Sometimes when we see these different, you know, verbiages here on the winter weather, I personally get confused a little bit.
Absolutely.
Just because like I don't deal with it a lot, but I know that there's something
And then we start to change things too, like we changed our wind chill warnings and wind chill advisories to cold weather advisories. We've got lots of questions about that. You know, is this the first time ever that we've seen this? Yes, I guess you could say in a sense, but it's just a new title. It's not the first time we've ever had a wind chill warning, right, or wind chill advisory here in West Michigan.
I actually have another question, and we were trying to stay very local, but I think it's pertinent to bring up the blizzard warnings happening down south as well. You know, do National Weather Services in different parts of the country, are they a little more sensitive to, you know, let's say, the area. So like down towards Louisiana, they would trip a blizzard warning faster than we would here, right?
You still have to meet certain criteria, right? You still have to reach certain limits. I don't know if it's exactly the same per office, but you still have to meet a certain criteria to get there. So the fact that they did, most likely they had that quarter mile or less visibility. Most likely they had the 35-mile-per-hour wind gusts and the snow falling. I would say that when it comes to like a winter weather advisory for them, that they might be a little bit more lenient. Maybe 1 to 3 inches of snow causes that for them down there, where for us here in West Michigan, we ain't getting a winter weather advisory for 1 to 3 inches of snow.
No, absolutely. And that's kind of more my point is, you know, do we see different things in different areas? But I mean, of course, a blizzard warning, same thing with like a hurricane warning. And, you know, there are certain criteria when you're talking about category 1 through 5. There are benchmarks they have to
reach.
Yeah.
And the National Weather Service used to be very much structured in a sense of like, we need to meet this threshold and be here in order to issue this. In recent years, and I think going forward a lot, we are going to continue to see a trend where the National Weather Service does more impact-based forecasting than they do actually meeting a certain criteria. So if we start to see catastrophic damage from something, that's going to have a little bit more of a hold on the forecast. So maybe something like what we experienced the last 2 days with the active snowfall coming down and the cold temperatures might warrant a little bit of a higher alert if we went with that impact-based forecasting rather than just strict criteria, because we didn't meet the criteria of a winter storm warning the last 2 days. The snowfall ratio, the snowfall totals weren't there. But did we feel like it was worse than our normal winter weather advisory?
Absolutely.
Exactly. So that's where that kind of impact-based forecasting comes into play.
I think that's a really good explainer. Thank you for the breakdown.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're just joining us here on 13 Plus, Tanner Holbrook here along with Chief Meteorologist Samantha Jacques talking about our current and continuing situation weather-wise, and that is we've got bitter temperatures outside still, but we are also chatting about more snow. Right now it's system snow making its way up through Muskegon and the Muskegon metro area. Of course, a lot of the Grand Rapids snow has kind of dissipated a little bit, pulled back.
Yes.
We're not out of the woods yet with snow here in GR, but you know, Muskegon's being impacted a little more. I know that we have our friends Amber Twardy and Aaron Sullivan.
Look, they're like, get to us, we are freezing.
They're out live on the weather deck. Good morning. You guys are doing some experiments. What are you guys taking a look at?
Guys, it's cold out here. We're definitely excited to head back inside, but while it is still cold, we wanted to show you a couple of different fun things that you can do with the kids. Now, we were able to come out here, kind of do a couple of experiments, a couple that are a little bit more fun than others, I feel like. Maybe some that work a little bit better than others, too. Now, first, you've got your ramen noodles here. I'm very interested to hear about how this went for you. Usually you can make ramen noodles, pasta, whatever type of thing you would want to make, and you can kind of stand them up and it would look frozen. Now, they're definitely a little crunchy. They're frozen.
We wanted to, the goal was to get the long strands, and let's just be honest, I'm not the best ramen noodle chef in the newsroom microwave, so they did break apart a little bit, but you can see these noodles are completely frozen. I can even I'm not even going to try and eat that on air because I'm sure it's disgusting, but I'm sure that would kind of hurt the teeth. So if you're at home with your kids and you're getting bored inside, put some ramen noodles in the microwave.
Well,
that will make them happy for about 30 minutes.
We were wondering, Sam, before you went out there, was like, Erin was making noodles,
Yeah,
and now we know why.
I'm like, sorry, Erin's making noodles. She's got science going on. Look at you go, girl.
I'm curious about the pants there that you have. What's going on with that?
Yeah, tell us more about those.
This is my favorite one for sure. Now, I feel like this is a staple every single winter whenever you get these big cold snaps. If you take pants, you wet them down in a sink, which is exactly what I did shortly before we started going on air. And then you just lay them outside. Look at that. They just stand up completely, and they're crinkling. I don't know if you can.
Oh, ooh, yeah, listen to that.
Natural sound.
Yeah,
Cold enough to freeze your pants off.
Freeze your pants off, exactly. Now, that's the best thing that you can do if you do freeze your pants off is just leave them outside. They stand up on their own.
There you go.
And then Craig actually had the idea in the back. He was like, listen, if you guys are going out there, bring a cup of water with you, throw it in the air and see what happens. So I put
Is it boiling?
It
or is
was
regular?
earlier, so we'll see if it works because we've been out here for a few minutes. But are you ready? We're going to make sure I don't throw it towards
Yeah.
Amber.
Yeah.
This one comes with
Make
a
sure it
warning.
goes
Of a
in the direction
hazard,
the wind
but-
is going.
Yeah.
Oh,
it
it kinda
froze.
works, yeah.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
I
Just a
will
little
say
bit
that
there.
experiment makes me nervous, ladies.
And
But
I have not had a Mountain
well.
Dew since college, but I see a Mountain Dew on the table there. What are we doing with that?
Yeah, so this is just a reminder. Don't keep your beverages in your car. That almost just slipped out of my hands. It's like frozen. Like
It's full ice.
We had pop cans back here, but we didn't keep them out here for too long. But you can see that was completely frozen. So you definitely do not want to do that if you want to enjoy a Mountain Dew later on, you know?
did you fall victim to that today, Erin? Was that
Yesterday.
Is this a personal? Oh, yesterday.
I had a
okay.
Celsius can in the car and it completely exploded. But hey,
yeah.
that's what I deserve for doing that.
You know, we live and we learn.
Right.
We all learn
Yeah.
lessons somehow, and I feel like I've learned that lesson a good 10 times before without fail. So
Yeah.
every winter, it's good to learn this lesson once again, and hopefully we can teach it to you instead of you having to learn it yourself.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you guys get inside, please?
Yes.
You
Thank you
guys
so
have got
much.
to be so cold. Popsicles. We don't want the next experiment to involve both of you. So
We're going to make snow
come on
angels, so
inside.
we're not going to listen to you. We're going to go to snowball fight.
Our little STEMinists
I
out
know.
there doing their thing. I love it.
Hey, really quick, let's chat roads really quick. So I just got a message from one of our assignment desk editors, Tim Dickman. He says he was talking with his husband, who is here in the Grand Rapids area, says that he got stuck on the hill, the incline of Fuller near Knapp Street. Multiple vehicles were stuck there as well, but his husband was able to make it home safely.
Oh, good.
But just another example of how treacherous the roads still are, even when we don't have low visibility and also these cold temperatures or lake effect snow here in the area.
Absolutely. And we do know also, obviously, road conditions much worse in Muskegon County right now. Do we have a live camera of Muskegon currently? If we do,
I actually think Doug was headed toward that accident.
who's headed towards the accident. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good update. So hopefully we'll be able to find out more information about what happened there. There's our live look at Muskegon. Wow, just over, I would say, the last 45 minutes or so, it went from being like you could see some lanes in the streets to now completely snow-coated roadways as that system snow starts to approach. And this is just the very, very beginning of this snowfall.
Wow.
It is expected to actively snow in Muskegon, continuing from now and really until early tomorrow morning. So they have a lot of snow on deck. I'm pulling up our radar right now so that we can see kind of what we're working with here in terms of snowfall actively coming down. You can see the system snow over the last hour or so continuing to approach from west to east. It's moving its way inland, and that's so, again, Muskegon right now dealing with the outskirts of this system, not even the main portion of it. Let me try to get a little tighter view here. I'm working on my smaller laptop rather than the big computer, so it takes me a second longer. All right, zooming all the way in there to Muskegon County. So it looks like a vast majority of that snow right now is sitting directly over Muskegon, Muskegon Heights, Norton Shores, almost making its way to Fruitport, just kind of clipping the Fruitport area, Ferrysburg, and then down through Grand Haven as well. Now, these are not areas, Tanner, that stayed free and clear from the snowfall over the last several days. In fact, this exact little area that we're looking at are some of the spots that had higher snowfall totals.
Yeah.
We had 8.4 inches of snow measured in Fruitport since Sunday.
Wow.
So they've already have about 9 inches of snow most likely on the ground right now. Colton, give us the update.
It's 11.2.
It is
That's
11.2
inches.
And,
Wow.
and that's where our report's coming from, in case any of you guys wondered where we're getting our official Fruitport report from. 11.2 inches of snow on the ground right now. And we just have the beginning of this system that is expected to bring another 8 inches of snow on the ground for that area.
Well, we should point out that we have extended the weather impact alert through Thursday.
Yes, through Thursday.
Which is something that yesterday, about 24 hours ago, we were chatting about. You know, we were like, do we do it? Do we not? What was the deciding factor to ultimately bring that into play here?
Seeing that lake enhancement. Once we could really start to see, I always talk about, you really can't see lake effect snow the way that you need to anything earlier than 48 hours. And sometimes when you've got a system moving in before it, it can get a bit messy to try to determine, okay, is that lake enhancement or is that the system snow? And the second we started to realize, yeah, these winds out of the south and west and the criteria that we need, the instability that we need to be there to get that lake effect snow to form is coming together.
Okay.
So not only are we seeing the system snow, but then as that system snow moves through, we're going to see the enhancement of lake effect snow. So this is our snowfall map. This is projected through 7 a.m. Thursday morning. The snow is not going to stop at 7 a.m. Thursday morning. The wind direction is going to change though. And as we see the change in the wind direction, we're going to pivot the spots that see the vast majority of that snowfall. But again, 6 to 8 inches of snow, northern Ottawa County, extended through Muskegon County, and then all the way up through Ludington as well. I do think there will be pockets within there that are closer to that 6-inch mark rather than the 8-inch mark. I also think there's going to be areas, especially in Muskegon County, that have higher than 8 inches of snow, especially with that lake effect we've already been seeing.
Well, so I see the purple, the blue, and then the light blue. So I said earlier, Grand Rapids now not out of the woods of this just yet. What are the impacts we're going to see right here in Grand Rapids?
Yeah, so in the greater Grand Rapids area, a vast majority of our snowfall will be on the lower end of the scale. We are underneath a winter weather advisory, not underneath that winter storm warning, and that is because we fall underneath that 6-inch category for sure. I think if we even reach 6 inches, it is going to be northwestern Kent County that gets to that 6-inch mark, and then the further south and east within the county itself that you travel, the lower that snowfall total is going to be. But if we do, again, get in that 3 to 6 inch range, it's because we're getting clipped by the system snow and then starting to see that southwesterly lake effect snowfall clip us maybe. I just don't have the strongest faith that we're going to see much of that lake effect snow here in Kent County. Although when we see the winds start to turn, we could see some of that snow kind of swoop through the Kent County region and give us additional amounts. And then that's tomorrow morning when we do start to see areas in Ottawa County as well as southern Ottawa County and Allegan County see the back half of this lake enhanced snowfall.
I just have a quick point to point out here. We just got an email into our newsroom from the city of Kalamazoo, and this is unknown if this is weather related, but when we see cold temperatures like this, it is pretty likely that the weather has caused this. There was a water main break in Kalamazoo on Buchanan Avenue, and so now there is a boil water advisory because of a temporary loss in pressure, and so that is being worked through in Kalamazoo County there. So Buchanan Avenue impacting areas like Ash Street, Pierce Avenue, South Burdick Street, and Leona Avenue. So if you live in those areas, you're going to want to check with the county officials there to make sure that you're not under some sort of boil water advisory. And again, I'm just reading something very quickly here off of our email that we got. Again, boil water advisory in effect for parts of the city of Kalamazoo, likely due to the cold temperatures. You know, when you get those pipes and you get these very frigid temperatures, that is likely what we see. Again, it's not confirmed to be the cause on our end, but I would say that's probably likely the case.
Like Aaron Celsius can in the car. That's what can happen to the pipes there. And the worst part about when we see these pipes burst in temperatures like this, not only the boil water criteria, but sometimes they leave water on the roads.
Right, and it becomes very
icy. And it
icy.
becomes just an ice rink. So that could potentially be something too. I'm sure we will find out more information from the newsroom on that as well. Amber, have you de-thawed yet?
I definitely,
brought it back
some
inside.
parts of me, I feel like the
parts,
fingers
yeah,
are
yeah.
still coming back. They're still
Okay.
kind of getting the blood flow going again.
We're
getting a
sorry.
little
We were
warmer.
just yapping about the weather
I know,
chaser, and
I
the
know.
producers like they're ready for you, and we didn't think about the fact that you were outside. So I'm really sorry about that. Amber, I guess my next question for you in terms of the weather and the forecast going forward is people have been wanting to know, is there relief in sight? When does all of this end? Could you talk to us a little bit about, Thursday into Friday's forecast and then kind of headed into the weekend as well?
Yeah, finally we are starting to see at least slightly warmer temperatures into this afternoon. As for right now, not so much. Instead, we are still in the single digits and it feels quite a bit colder than that. Current feels like temperature is still sitting in the negative teens, well below zero. So it is going to be very, very cold still. But hey, there is some good news on the way. Now let's kick things off with 13 weather ball. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of a struggle there, but
It's broken like our
What
hearts
happened?
over
little
this
bit broken
forecast.
there, but it's red, I promise. That means that warmer weather is ahead. Now, as far as what we're seeing
Even the weather
right
ball's
now,
questioning it. like,
exactly.
really?
The weather ball's still like, are you sure that teens is warmer? And it is, I promise. But unfortunately, well, we're not going to be seeing 30s till this weekend. Still, though, let's talk a little bit more about what we're seeing right now. So we are continuing to see more of that snow coming down directly into Muskegon County especially, and just clipping the northwestern edge of Ottawa County as well. Now, this is along converging winds that are continuing to make their way further off to the north and east. So these are technically south-southwesterly winds, or just southwesterly winds in some areas as well. The snow definitely going to be impacting you out there. And as far as temperatures go, well, we're still only starting out in the single digits, 2 degrees in Grand Rapids right now. Because of the wind, though, winds are blowing at about 15 miles an hour here in Grand Rapids, 14 miles an hour from Muskegon and Ionia. Now, 24 miles an hour, and we're talking about gusts in Muskegon this morning, or at least this early afternoon too, is when we'll be able to see more of those winds on the way. That is dragging our feels like temperatures well below zero. It's going to be cold no matter what way you put it, anywhere that you are in West Michigan, and we will continue to see these gusty winds throughout the rest of the day. Here's a look at what we're expecting from winds as we're heading into the next multiple hours, still seeing gusts up to about 25 to 30 miles an hour into this afternoon and even into this evening. We're staying breezy all day long, and with that being said, that keeps our feels like temperatures down into the negatives. Even as we're heading into really the early afternoon, still feeling like -4 at 3 p.m. As we're getting into this evening, that's when we do start to see at least a little bit of improvement. Temperatures that will largely be in the single digits still, but that's just going to be a little bit of a precursor for what else we're expecting. Still, cold weather advisory in place that went into effect this morning and will be staying into effect until noon. So once we get into this afternoon, we definitely have some improvement on the way. Let's talk about some other winter weather alerts that we're seeing though. Winter weather advisory, winter storm warnings. Winter storm warning is the pink that you're seeing on your screen for Oceana, Newaygo, as well as Muskegon and Ottawa counties. Looking at that purple color, winter weather advisory, that will be in place until Thursday morning at 10 a.m. That's in place for Mecosta, Kent, Allegan, and Van Buren counties. Still anticipating some snowfall, but that's not where we're going to be seeing the bulk of it. Let's talk about why we extended this 13 weather impact alert. That's going to be in place through Thursday morning now. A big part of the impact is with the bitter cold that we're still seeing throughout this morning, but also heavy snow and strong winds. So those strong winds going to be blowing a lot of that snow around, reducing visibility as well. So that's going to be something else you'll need to look out for, largely along the lakeshore and largely looking to the northwest. So northwestern lakeshore, that's where we're going to be seeing the greatest impacts out of today. You'll need to make sure you're limiting your time outside because of that cold, but also just planning for plenty of extra time on the roads. It's been too cold for salt to work over the past couple of days, so ice is coating many of our roadways. It is going to be much slower going on the roads as you are trying to get out really at any point today. We were in the weather chaser this morning, and I can tell you we did not get up to the speed limit almost ever, unless we were in an area that was right around 25 miles an hour. But besides that, for the most part on the highway, we were well below the speed limit, close to about 45 miles an hour for much of it, and that definitely slowed a lot of things down. Here's how much snow we're expecting out of all of this as we do continue to see, well, this purple area. That's where we're going to be seeing the winter storm warning in place. That's where we could be seeing 6 to 8 inches, but our highest totals, definitely thinking that an isolated 8+ inches, closer to 9 inches, definitely a possibility for us. This is where we're going to be anticipating the most of that snowfall. But look at this darker blue contour as well. That's a little bit further inland and even getting further south, closer to about Holland, looking at much of Ottawa County and extending further south as well. That's where 3 to 6 inches look to be possible. And as you're traveling further inland once again, especially as you're getting east of 131, well, that's where things are going to start to get at least a little bit less, right around 1 to 3 inches. inches of snowfall. This is from this morning until tomorrow morning, but we still do expect more snow on the way for our Thursday as well. Let's track this out hour by hour. Looking into this afternoon, lake effect snow is ramping up along really southwesterly winds. This will be continuing throughout much of the day. Look at the rest of West Michigan. Not too much going on for much of this afternoon, so a lot of the impact further to the north and west, getting closer to the lakeshore, specifically looking at Oceana, Muskegon, and Newaygo counties. Ottawa County also getting clipped by some of this, but likely to see the greatest impacts in these 3 counties here. That's where we have most of that snowfall on the way, sticking around throughout much of the day. We do have a system moving through, and this switches us over to system snow. What we mean when we say system snow is that there is a low pressure system, associated cold, occluded front that's moving through, and that's what's going to be bringing a different type of snowfall that's a little bit more widespread. This continues to move through. That will be bringing us some system snow overnight, switching over to lake effect as we're getting into our Thursday afternoon once again. And really, the system snow is still enhanced by lake effect as well. That continues all the way through Thursday evening, finally starting to move out by Thursday night, and Friday does look a little bit quieter for us, but we do have quite a bit of snow between now and then, so we are going to be seeing quieter weather in the forecast, just not until we get to the end of this week. Still more impacts on the way over the next couple of days. Wednesday, Thursday, underneath 13 weather impact alerts. Temperatures that are right around 70 degrees into this afternoon. Snow showers on the way. And then Thursday, still some more snow for us as well. Quite a bit of lake effect that's going to be with us after we have that system snow during the overnight hours. Getting into Thursday afternoon, things do start to calm down at least a little bit. Lake effect really tapering off as we're getting into Friday, especially. Mostly cloudy skies. And look at our temperatures rising back up into the 20s. So finally getting a little bit more comfortable at least. Temperatures as we're heading into the next 10 days, well, we're going to see a lot of improvement here. Even when we see these little dips, a little bit of a roller coaster, well, we're only dipping down into the 20s. We even have a day here. We could be looking at next Tuesday where we are above average. We haven't done that in a while, so we're definitely looking forward to some temperatures that will feel at least slightly more comfortable getting into next week. But even then, going to have to deal with the cold weather still until then, especially considering the breezy winds that we have through the end of this week. Into this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, going to be a little bit closer to average, right around 30 degrees for Saturday, bit of a heat wave there, and then 26 degrees again for Sunday as some colder air is moving in once again. Recovering right after that, 33 by next Tuesday, a little bit of a dip once again, but still we're not getting back down to the teens and single digits like what we've been able to see over the past couple of days. As far as what we're expecting for today, Lakeshore zone, that's where we're going to be seeing likely the greatest impacts, especially further north of 96. Looking specifically at Oceana, Muskegon, and really Ottawa counties as well. That's where we have the greatest impacts on the way. Temperatures that are going to be sitting largely in the teens for today, anticipating lake effect snow, winter storm warning in place. That's going to be throughout the rest of today as well. Northern zone seeing temperatures that are largely going to be in the upper teens as well. Definitely breezy with winds mainly out of the south. Still seeing more lake effect snow, especially trailing into portions of Newaygo County too. Our southern zone seeing temperatures that will largely be in the teens once again today. Now we still are seeing some areas that are, at least many areas that are in the single digits, continuing into the early afternoon, but we do have some recovery on the way. Your 13 on your side 7-day forecast. Next 2 days, still seeing 13 weather impact alerts. So more cold weather for today. We do start to see a little bit of improvement by the afternoon. Lake effect will be continuing into our Thursday as well. Finally quieting down by Friday. Getting into this weekend, Saturday, it looks like we could be seeing some snow back in the forecast, but hey, at least our temperatures are definitely recovering. Temperatures right around 30 degrees on Saturday, dipping back down into the 20s for our Sunday, starting to recover a little bit after that though. It does look like next Monday could be a little bit windy for us, but finally we are starting to see at least slightly better temperatures on the way. We've been dealing with single digits, feeling well below zero over these last couple of days. Finally, things will at least start to look a little bit better for us guys. Now, not necessarily going to be warm quite yet, but relief is in sight.
Yes, Amber.
Yeah, it is.
Clap it up
I
for
know.
Amber. That
How long
was a
did you
good
go?
full
Like
forecast.
10 minutes it felt like.
Yeah, that was
You did
good.
a great job.
That was really good.
So we do have a crash that we're dealing with right now. Our producer Maddie, when our photographer Doug Grevious is ready, here's
we
a
did some
view
photos.
of some of that. But when our live photo is ready, let us know. And while we're getting that arranged, we're going to chat with these two, Colton and Amber, who are the newest members of the Weather Impact team. I want to chat with you guys about just being back here in West Michigan. You're both natives here. Colton, you're up by Muskegon. You're from Rockford, Amber.
Yes.
Forecasting lake effect snow, how has that been over the last couple of days?
I mean, we love it. This is something that both of us have grown up with. We both love it so much at this point, but it's a little much now.
Yeah, it is a little much. Honestly, yesterday on my way into work, I was like, yeah, I'm done with winter at this
I'm
point.
about good.
And all of our winter weather we've had has been lake effect snow this winter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just want a snowstorm.
Yeah.
Yes.
We actually, Cole and I yesterday did say, we were like a good blizzard, like that would be fun. And then
And
got the alerts that
here we are.
it might be close to blizzard
Blake and I
criteria.
last night were like, oh no!
Oh, no, yeah. Colin
Panicking.
and Blake actually called me last night and they were like, winter storm warning. I'm like, I know, I saw. Okay, we've got this. Just a few more days, we could do it as a weather team. But they're such rock stars. They're so awesome. I mean, again, Amber always here, always on top of it. She is like, oh my, just my type A queen. Like she gets every little detail, and we need that on a team. You know what I mean? We need the person that's like fine tuning every little thing, and her forecasts are.
Well,
magnificent.
it's nice because, you know, these folks really do put everything they've got into forecasting the snow here. I mean, you should see them before their shows, after the show, working through the data, working through the model runs. I mean,
and that brings me to Colton, who is here on his day off, everybody. He changed his schedule this week to be here forecasting with us. He was over there looking at the latest model data, and I'm like, Colton, what am I got?
yeah.
And you know what? That's the best part about this team is you guys are all so willing. You're driven, you're focused, you're home, and we're just really happy to have you home.
Yeah, we're happy to have you, and you guys are doing a great job, by the way. You
Thank
really
you.
are.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, that lake effect snow that we have been talking about, that they've been forecasting, and the system snow that we are now seeing in Muskegon, and you're seeing that live right now. This is what's going on. This is what's happening in Muskegon up toward that way. Live look at Grand Haven there. It looks like they are also seeing some of the conditions that you guys have been calling out for the last several days. Let's get back to that breaking news that we were talking about. Multiple crashes with injuries closing a highway in Muskegon, Muskegon County that is. So this, it looks to be one of the fire engines responding. Right now what we do know is that southbound US 31 is closed at Holton Road because of several crashes. So this picture was posted by the Muskegon Township Fire Department. At this point, they're asking drivers to avoid the area and seek alternate routes. I want to point out we do have our chief photographer, Doug Grevious. Right now, he's trying to get a better view of the situation. This is live in Muskegon on the ground. As soon as we get that shot situated, because what he was aiming for, there's the backup. Yeah, there we go. What he was aiming for was that backup that we are looking at as a direct result of this crash. Again, we know that there are injuries. We've been told that. We also know, and he's again trying to get the camera in place here, folks, so bear with it. But you can see at this point, 31 is at a dead stop, and this is just a just south of the River Flats there.
Yeah, just south of the River Flats, getting the camera in place. It is very cold outside.
Yeah.
We've got temperatures right now sitting in the single digits in Muskegon. Wind chill value still sitting sub-zero. People just trapped in their car. And these are those moments that we remind everybody, Lieutenant Robinson yesterday bringing this up, to have the right gear in your car. Have that safety equipment in there. Have a snack in there. That's what I would be thinking about right now, to make sure that you can get stuck in something like this on days like this, because it really, it may not ever be your fault, but it could certainly happen.
Well, this is exactly that example. You know, have that blanket, have that emergency kit in your car ready to go. Because, you know, what happens when you run out of gas and you're stuck in this sort of traffic jam?
Absolutely.
Then your heat goes out, all of the above. And so, again, we want to let you know that southbound US 31, which is what you're looking at right there, the cars stopped in that direction are the southbound lanes. You can see northbound seems to be moving just fine. But at this point, southbound 31 at Holton Road is closed due to multiple crashes in that area. And again, we've been telling folks, slow down, take your time when you're going somewhere. That is the most important thing right now, because, you know, we don't want to hear about injuries. We don't want to hear about any fatalities involved, which we have over the last several days. when it comes to accidents. At this
Absolutely.
point, when it comes to this accident that you're looking at live, we do know, or we're being told, that there are injuries involved here.
Okay.
So,
Well, I'm sure we will continue to get you more updates on that. We do have a show today at noon.
Yep.
And I know by then we are certainly going to get more reports and more information, hopefully. Can we get a look at our current satellite and radar so that we can see what's causing that snowfall to come down? Yep, this is the area where the accident is happening. Look at, they've got the little arrow placed and
Yeah.
everything. This is why I love our team. We're going to continue to see this snowfall funnel in and filter in, become more widespread, become heavier. This is a heavy, wet snow that's first coming down, followed up by additional lake enhancement throughout the rest of the afternoon and evening. This is mainly going to impact the areas that are underneath our winter storm warning. Winter storm warning right now is in place for Ottawa County, Muskegon County, Newaygo County, Oceana, and Mason. We also have winter weather advisories in effect for Kent County and Allegan County. You can see this is just the beginning of this event. If we take the satellite and radar even wider, all of Lake Michigan right now coated in snowfall. So we're going to see more of this funneling in over the next several hours before things finally come to a close as we track into your early Friday morning. But we have quite a lot of time left to deal with these snowy conditions, and we just really ask that you heed the warnings, that you stay safe. If you can stay off the roads, do so, especially in these
Yeah.
lakeshore towns where they're getting hit hard once again.
I think the rule of thumb is if you didn't have school today, you probably shouldn't be on the roads if you
Absolutely.
can, if you can't help it. So, yeah, so, and you're directly saying that that band is still right over that accident area. So Muskegon County, the heart of it, being impacted by that band.
And that's exactly what I think is going to keep happening today is that system snow's building in, but that's not just system snow right there. That is
Yeah.
enhancement from the winds, from those southwesterly winds driving in off the water as well, bringing in that additional snowfall.
All right, thanks for joining us for this hour for our 13 Plus weather special.
Yeah.